It's a tie, guys. The Seahawks and the Raiders' first preseason game. It's a tie. Welcome back to the channel. I know I'm wearing a Giants hat. Sorry about that, but this is Seahawks Now, and we are talking about the first preseason game, which was, of course, last night. I have a lot to talk about. I could probably talk about this game for a lot longer than 10 minutes, but we're going to try to keep it about 10 minutes. 23-23 was your final score, and just looking at the quick stats, it was a pretty even game. The Seahawks started out with a 7-0 lead in the first quarter, and they actually expanded that to a 16-3 lead at halftime. The Raiders made it 16-10 in the third quarter, and then the Seahawks end up scoring 7 more in the fourth to make it 23. But the Raiders also scoring 13 in the fourth quarter, so the Seahawks defense kind of struggled towards the end. If you look at the team stats, total yards, very close. Raiders slightly more. They had 392. Seahawks with 368. The Raiders certainly outpassed Seattle with 288 to 198. But the Seahawks running game, and we're going to get into that in just a second. Seahawks running game looked great. 170 rushing yards. Seattle averaging 5.7 yards per play. Raiders 5.9 yards per play. The Seahawks had 2 more first downs, 23 compared to Las Vegas at 21. This is a big one, third down efficiency. This one, I think, says a lot about the play calling. Seattle went 8 for 15 on third down. That's really good. Meanwhile, the Raiders 5 for 14. Seattle had basically the same amount of plays, 65 for the Seahawks, 67 for the Raiders. Only 1 sack for each quarterback. So interesting, we didn't see a whole lot of sack action in this game. Seattle punted 4 times. And then look at the penalties. Seattle with 9 penalties for 78 yards, and the Raiders 10 for 80 yards. So again, very evenly matched. Seattle just slightly better time possession with 31 minutes compared to the Raiders' 29 minutes. Yeah, good game. It was a fun watch, and definitely fun to see Pete Carroll come back to Seattle. I know that, maybe we probably didn't imagine that the first time he's going to come back to Seattle is going to be in the preseason as the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Kind of random, but that is what happened. So if you look at the quick stat sheet, for the Seattle Seahawks, Drew Lock and Jalen Milroe, they played quarterback. We're going to get into them in a second, so I'm going to save the quarterback discussion for the next kind of topic because I have some things to say about Drew Lock. But looking at the run game, George Holani had a nice little game, 7 carries for 61 yards and a touchdown. Jacardia Wright, 7 carries, 34 yards, and a touchdown. So that was kind of who we got to see. We got to see an undrafted free agent in Jacardia Wright, and we also got to see George Holani. So it wasn't really any of the guys who are probably going to be starting. We did get to see a little bit of Damian Martinez. He had 6 carries for 10 yards. So actually, they did give him a shot. They gave him 6 carries. He just wasn't doing anything with those carries. And then Anthony Tyus III, who we just signed 2 days ago, he ends up also with 6 carries for 23 yards. So is it a good sign that the guy we drafted in the 7th round was outplayed by 3 undrafted running backs? Probably not. But also, we'll see how Damian Martinez progresses. I have a feeling he's probably not going to – look, Damian Martinez is not going to be a starter. I think he will make the roster. I think he will make the roster. That's the only – it would be pretty shocking if he gets cut. He was the second running back after the game. But yeah, Holani definitely has that early lead. Is that according to CBS reporting? Holani has the early lead. Martinez will have to make up some ground to get that number 3 running back spot. But I think they're going to keep 4 running backs on the roster. I think Martinez's spot on the roster is pretty solid, especially with McIntosh out. Anyways, moving on to the receiving core, how the Seahawks receivers do. Well, again, it was not any of the guys that we really are excited to see. Cooper Kupp did not play. Neither did JSN. And neither did the Seahawks. Who's our third string? For some reason, I can't think of his name. Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He also did not play. Torrey Horton, nice game. 3 receptions, 31 yards, and a touchdown. And he, of course, is a player a lot of people are very excited to watch. Could he be our eventual wide receiver 3? Possibly. He had a really nice season at Colorado State. So, I'm really happy to see him. Derek Young, who is definitely competing for a roster spot. He made 1 catch, but it was for 31 yards. And then you have a lot of guys who probably aren't going to do a whole lot. Marshall Lang, tight end, undrafted free agent, 2 receptions for 20 yards. George Holani actually made another reception for 20 yards as well. Damian Martinez caught 2 passes for 15. Jake Bobo, he's a guy trying to make the roster in kind of a competition. 2 receptions, 15 yards for him. The fullback Robbie Outs caught 1 pass for 17 yards. I like this. A lot of guys who had like 1 or 2 receptions, but for pretty significant yardage. Elijah Arroyo, 2 receptions for 14 yards, the tight end. That does matter. We're excited to see him. And then Ricky White III, 1 reception for 14 yards. I'm a big Ricky White III fan. I really hope he makes the roster. I think he has a lot of talent coming out of UNLV. But at the same time, the 7th round pick, yeah, his work is cut out for him. So yeah, there you go. There's your kind of quick stat sheet. With that all being said, let's move on to the quarterback discussion because I want to talk Drew Lock and Jalen Milroe. We got to see them both in action. We got to see more of Drew Lock. Drew Lock, 22 attempts compared to Jalen Milroe, only 10. What does that say? I don't know. I don't know what that says, to be completely honest. But at the end of the day, Drew Lock, he did throw the Seahawks' only touchdown pass of the night. He also threw the only interception of the night. He was 12 for 22 with 147 yards. I thought he looked pretty good. I thought that he looked like a capable NFL backup quarterback. Now, is he going to start a whole lot? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to play a whole lot for the Seahawks in 2025. But again, he looks like a capable backup. Looks like he can get the job done. Milroe only throws 10 passes, 6 for 10, 61 yards. So actually very, very similar, right? They both were just slightly better than that 50% completion rate, but neither of them really blew me away there. As far as yardages go, Milroe averaging about 10 yards per completion, almost exactly. Drew Lock just slightly more than that, about 11, 12-ish. Drew Lock averaged 12 yards per completion. So Lock with a slightly better yards per attempt, but still not amazing. But then Lock does actually put the points on the board, which was what we wanted to see. On the run game, though, Milroe did show some signs. Milroe showed that talent. I mean, there's a reason why people think Jalen Milroe is as good of a running back. He's as good of a runner as Lamar Jackson. 3 carries, 38 yards, so he was averaging almost, 13 yards per attempt on the ground. That's really, really good to see. So with that all being said, I want to talk about winners and losers. I'm going to read off an article here because I think they say it better than I could. This is according to fieldgoals.com. A big night for Seahawks rookies, especially in the first half. Yeah, okay, so the winners, here's who they have. This is according to Mookie Alexander. So shout out to Mookie Alexander, a good writer over there on fieldgoals.com for SB Nation. Winner, Robbie Outs, the fullback. Yeah, okay, I like it. We saw him as a blocker. I agree. He looked good as a blocking fullback / tight end, sort of. He also caught that 17-yard pass. Yeah, I think that he is proving that, yeah, this is a valuable player to have on the roster, and he is going to make an impact on the season as a freshman. He was good at Alabama. He was actually a tight end at Alabama, but as a fullback, yeah, I like it. He also has Torrey Horton as a winner. Again, yeah, I agree. I already talked about that. By the way, hit a nice punt return, couple of nice ones. Again, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, yeah, he's going to be the wide receiver 3 to start the season. I think there's a chance Torrey Horton could be your wide receiver 3 pretty soon. I mean, yeah, I think by the end of the season, there's a good chance we're talking about JSN, Cooper Kupp, and Torrey Horton as your 3 receivers. We'll see. I mean, again, he was a 5th round pick receivers. It's very volatile. You never know how 5th round pick's going to turn out, but he looked good. I liked his touchdown. George Halani listed as a winner as well. Again, Halani last year was kind of your running back 4 behind McIntosh. This time he is, again, competing. Is he going to be your number 3, number 4 running back? I think he has a really good chance of making the roster after last night. We'll see if Damian Martinez or Halani gets that number 3 running back slot. I don't know. Halani definitely, again, probably in the front seat. You look at the offensive line. That's listed as a winner. Again, only 1 sack. Jalen Milroe got sacked late in the game, but only 1 sack and just 2 quarterback hits allowed. The run game looked good. Gray Zabel looked good. So good to see there. He also has some defensive players. Nehemiah Pritchett listed as a winner. He did get the interception off of Aiden O'Connell. Jacardia Wright was listed as a winner. Tyreek Smith listed as a winner, and Jalen Gaines. So here's the losers. Your loser is Damian Martinez. Yeah, again, number 1 loser. It looked like Halani was better. I'll admit it. And kind of like I said, I don't think Martinez's spot on the roster is in that much of jeopardy. I think they're going to keep him on the roster, but I think that might be as a 4th string running back / special teams guy, whereas I think going into the game, we all kind of thought, yeah, Martinez is probably going to be your your number 3 running back behind Charbonnet and Walker, and that looks like it might not be the case. He also muffed a kick. That's also not great. So, yeah, Damian Martinez, I agree, probably the biggest loser of this game. Cam Alexander listed as a loser. He did not play very well. Cody White also listed as a loser. He was targeted twice, dropped both passes. Yeah, if you're looking at the receiving core again, where we're at with the receiving core, essentially JSN, Cooper Kupp, MVS, those guys are on the team. Torrey Horton, I think you can pretty much also guarantee at least he's going to be on the team. So it comes down to, between Bobo, Cody White, Derek Young, and Ricky White. I think those 4 guys are battling for 2 spots, essentially. And maybe there's another guy who throws his name in the hat there that I'm forgetting about. But I really think it's going to come down to those 4 guys, and they're battling for 2 spots. If that's the scenario you're in, you can't be dropping passes, Cody White, and he dropped 2. So, yeah, I definitely would say right now he's probably on the outside looking in, and I think it might come down to either Derek Young, Jake Bobo, and Ricky White III for those last couple of spots. With that all being said, yeah, I thought the game was good. I agree with some of his notes here. Drew Lock, until his touchdown drive, didn't look great, but I actually thought he looked really good in his touchdown drive. He had some nice throws there. Milroe, again, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I thought he looked pretty good. I thought he flashed a lot of talent in the fourth quarter. I hope that he plays more. I think they will probably give Milroe more of an opportunity later on. And with that all being said, yeah, I thought it was a good game. It was a fun game. We did get to see a little bit of Geno Smith, not a whole lot of Geno Smith. He played 1 drive, attempted 3 passes. Yeah, I like it. I like this game. 23-23, a fun way to open the preseason. And I love the preseason because for me as a fan, I don't have to care about the outcome. I can just care about how do the players look, what's going on. And that's more fun for me as a fan. I don't necessarily, I do love when the Seahawks win, but in a regular season game, when it's always, there's always so much pressure. The preseason, you can just kind of relax and just watch the game and have fun with it. So yeah, I enjoyed this game a lot. With that all being said, guys, leave a comment down below. Who do you think is your number 1 winner or loser from the preseason game against the Las Vegas Raiders? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I want to hear it down in the comment section. And as always, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, go Seahawks.